Hey guys, this is Mark from ASUS. I'm here with another unboxing review, and today we're going to have a closer look at the ASUS Z170 Deluxe. This board supports the new Intel Skylake CPUs with names the i7 6700K and the 6600K. What's special with these boards, or with the new chipset Z170, which is being launched alongside the CPUs, is that they support DDR4. Let's have a closer look at this board. It's actually the Z170 Deluxe, is the flagship model of ASUS Signature series, so we will find a lot of features on this motherboard. And yeah, as you can already see from the picture here, we have this shroud which was introduced with the X99 Deluxe, and already like about a year ago or something that board was launched. This just like looked stunning and great, and meanwhile every other motherboard vendor is doing shrouds on their motherboards as well. So yeah, what can we see on the box? I mean, yeah, there is the new C170 chipset inside. Intel Core processors from 6th generation are supported. The socket is LGA1151. It used to be 1150 on Z97, so there is actually one additional pin. Then yeah, the board is apparently SLI and Crossfire ready. It supports HDMI and it is Windows 10 ready. Apart from that, it says here 5-way optimization, and there are 6 USB 3.1 ports which support up to 10 GB per second of bandwidth. So that is actually quite a lot which you can push through the bus. Actually, that is 1.25 gigabytes per second. We also see that there is a voucher included with this board, which gives you a premium Diana cruiser and a 15-day premium account of World of Warships. So yeah, if you guys are into that game, you're definitely going to like it. I personally never played it, but yeah, who knows. If we flip the box around, we see there is on the side there is nothing much of special going on here, which we haven't already mentioned. So yeah, let's go straight to the back side of things. And yeah, here we can see a schematic of the board itself, where you get a glimpse at all the different connectors and features which are on the board. There's, for instance, just to go through very quickly, an HDMI to 0 display port, a 3x3 dual band Wi-Fi and Bluetooth 4.0 with an additional antenna which can be screwed to those threads. Then there is a USB 3.1 Type-C port. Then there are 5 USB 3.1 Type-A ports, so in total those are the 6 USB 3.1 ports already mentioned. That is actually the antenna for the Wi-Fi. Then there are 2 LAN chips, both chips are from Intel. Then there is an 8-channel audio solution which supports DTS. We have 3 PCI Express 3.0, basically Gen 3 expansion slots which support SLI Crossfire X, as already mentioned. And then there is ASUS Crystal Sound Solution, which is basically below this shroud here, and there are the additional caps to provide even cleaner audio. To go through this here, power pre-regulator, top-notch audio profile, audio shielding, D-pop circuit, audio amplifier, separate layers for left-right track, premium Japan-made capacitors. So, and the Japan-made capacitors are these. Actually, the sound solution is based on a Realtek ALC 1150. So nothing's really changed there from C97 to Z170 in the case of ASUS. If we go on, we see that below here we find a power design. It's a Digi Plus power design, which is always like the name, ASUS marketing name for the power designs. Yeah, it supports the EPU, which helps like saving, shredding off so a few watts every here and there to save some more energy. Here apparently is the new socket LGA1151. Here we have the 4 DDR4 sockets, which now support, if I'm correct, yeah, 64 GB of memory. That is actually new. Looks like the Skylake CPUs support 16 GB sticks and not just 8 GB sticks like we had on the previous generation. So yeah, you can go with a serious amount of memory with Z170. So far, ASUS is claiming that the DDR4 3466 is supported by overclocking the memory. We have 4 front USB 3 connectors, and then there are actually 6 SATA 6 gigabit per second ports, and there is also a SATA Express port, which is below here, and here we can see a M.2 slot, and into that M.2 slot you can put an NVMe U2 adapter, so you can also attach the brand new NVMe devices which require a new connector. Apart from that, there is also the usual TPU chip, and apparently the USB BIOS flashback button, as well as power reset buttons, and some more connectors. But yeah, as we go inside, we have another detailed look at the board. Yeah, already mentioned the 5-way optimization, one-click overclock and cooling down, so that's always a neat feature if you install the software. ASUS software, it's very easy to actually overclock this board from within Windows, so very super easy. Yeah, as I said, M.2 and NVMe PCIe RAID support, so since yeah, NVMe is supported, it also supports RAIDing NVMe devices, and if you have yet checked out some of the reviews which are out on NVMe drives, you know that this would make for some serious input-output performance, so definitely going to like eliminate that bottleneck which has been there from SATA 6 times, where you couldn't like push more than 550 to 600 megabytes over the bus. Then yeah, another bottleneck which is like going to be opened is the USB 3.0, but we're still waiting for like all the peripherals to arrive on the market, but it's definitely nice to have it. So 10 gigabytes per second compared to 5 gigabits from the previous generation, which means there is like now, yeah, as I mentioned before, 1.25 gigabytes per second which can be pushed over the bus. It supports Turbo LAN. This is basically a software solution which does packet prioritization. So if you happen to have low bandwidth, internet bandwidth at your home, you can set up the software to prioritize your gaming traffic over other traffic. Maybe you're downloading something in the background, and then things run just much smoother and you don't run into lag issues. Yeah, Crystal Sound 3, it's basically ASUS name for their sound implementation, which is based on a Realtek ALC 1150 combined with some really nice additional capacitors to filter out unwanted noise. So yeah, we can have another open the lid, have a look in here. There we have another detailed overview on the motherboard. But yeah, let's jump right into it. So first we take out the little beauty, and I have to say, I mean, I'm a big fan of the ASUS Signature series since they went away from their black and gold design and onwards to this black and white with these huge shrouds. So I think this is like one of the most beautiful boards out there. But yeah, let's put it aside quickly and have a look at the bundle. Yeah, if you remove all this stuff, you can see there is actually quite something in the box as well. So there we go with the usual SATA cables. I mean, since there are 6 ports, we have 6 cables. Then we have a SLI bridge, and here we go with the NVMe to M.2 adapter. I mean, as you can see, this is actually quite an interesting piece of hardware. Something really new, yeah, nice adapter. The usual Q connector, which is always very practical to plug in all the cables. And then this is also some neat little invention by ASUS. This is a tool that lets you install the CPU that you can better grip it on the side. You put it over the CPU, heat spreader, and then you can grip it from the side and put it into the socket so it doesn't slip off and you won't accidentally bend the pins. So yeah, some screws to attach the NVMe adapter, and this is actually the antenna which you get in the delivery. So yeah, this is kind of, it's twistable here that you can attach it somewhere or put it on the table and stuff. What you also get is an M.2 or ASUS so-called Hyper M.2 X4 mini adapters. Basically you can put on all sized M.2 expansion cards. It's with a PCI Express Gen 3 X4 interface, so that's enough for, what is it, 8 gigabit of bandwidth, no, not true, 32 gigabit of bandwidth, sorry, 4 gigabytes per second. Yeah, and here we go with the manual, the driver CD, some additional guides and stuff. So yeah, all the things you need to set up your board nicely and neatly. And yeah, I think that's kind of like it, since there is also the I/O bezel. Yeah, they did another really nice design on this. They incorporated some blue. Don't know why, I would have preferred white, but whatever, it looks nice. Yeah, so let's have a quick look around the motherboard itself. Yeah, as I said, I think the Signature series with these white shrouds, those are some of the most beautiful motherboards which are available as of today. And yeah. If you take the board out of the box, you feel that it's very, very heavy, so this always means like the manufacturing quality isn't a really great level, especially for the heatsinks. Yeah, that's actually aluminum heatsinks over here, also over here, all are aluminum heatsinks. And as you can see, there is a heat pipe going through these two heatsinks here, and this heatsink has not been integrated into the heat pipe, although it looks like there is also a cutout, so it would have been possible for ASUS to also route the heat pipe through there. But yeah, it's another cost factor, and since the Z170 motherboards are not to cost like $500 or something, there need to be some compromises made at some points. Yeah, let's go through the board. As I mentioned, crystal sound solution. Then we have debug display, different buttons, which are always very, very handy if you're setting up your system. Easy XMP switch down here, EPU switch, TPU switch for different settings. Then you have the M.2 slot down here. You can also, again, install M.2 devices of all lengths. If we go on, there are the 6 SATA ports and the SATA Express connector. Unfortunately, SATA Express peripherals are really, really rare, so didn't really have its breakthrough, this technology. The USB 3.1 header, then the ATX power plug, the 4 DDR4 DIMM slots. One thing you need to notice, or that's worth noticing with DDR4 slots, is that the height of the actual connectors which go inside the slot is a little lower, so if you push the DDR4 memory into the DRAM slot, it's a little more twitchy, and you have to be a little more careful that you don't like flip the module over and that you break the slot itself. So yeah, be careful with that. Yeah, the power design has also been reworked. There is like a boatload of phases again, which has something to do with the fact that Intel has moved out some of the power circuitry out of the CPU, and now the motherboard manufacturers are in charge of like incorporating that kind of circuitry on the motherboard again, which is the reason why there are more phases. So there are actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And for the CPU only, and then we have 2 more for the DIMM slots, basically 1 phase for each channel. Yeah, as usual, the power design is very high quality with ASUS. And yeah, let's go on here. We see the 8-pin ATX 12-volt connector. Then we have high quality black metallic caps with a 10K lifespan, 10K hours. If we go have a look at all the different fan headers, we see all the fan headers feature 4 pins, and there are 1, 2, 3, 4 here. Then we have 2 more here, there is 6 already. And then, no, there is none at the bottom edge, no. So we have 6 4-pin fan headers on this motherboard, and personally, yeah, it would have been nice to have another one down here. So maybe if you have the board in your case and you have some front fans, you only have like this one, which is the closest to a fan coming from here. So it would have been cool to have, no, there is another one, there is the 7th, so here we go, blame on me. Yeah, that's actually practical, because if you have a fan here and the cable is not really too long, then it's no problem to attach it over here. Yeah, we go on to the I/O panel, and as you can see, yeah, the 6 USB 3.0 ports with a Type-C plug, then the Wi-Fi, Bluetooth antenna connectors, the DisplayPort, HDMI port, optical out for your audio if you want to connect it to a DAC or to a nice hi-fi system or whatever. And the 2 LAN interfaces, both Intel chips. I personally prefer to have Intel solutions over the killer LAN, just for the easier driver installation. And yeah, I don't like the super circumstantial tool from Killer. I never really use it. And the other 6 audio connectors for the 8-channel audio. So yeah, that's basically it with this unboxing review. Yeah, maybe on the back you can see this is actually a X16 slot, that's an X8 slot, and that's another X8 slot. You can judge it by the full size of the soldering points, and here we have X1 slots. So yeah, in total you have 1 X16 and 2 X8, as well as 3 X1 slots. Oh no, sorry, actually 4. There is another one on top. Yeah, that's a cool thing as well. I really like it when the motherboard vendors put an X1 slot up here, because that means that the graphics card will not be too close to the CPU cooler. So if you go for a really big aftermarket cooler, it can sometimes be that when the PCI Express X16 is here and you put your graphics card in the first slot, it's very, very, very close to the CPU, to the actual heatsink, and it can even be that close that the graphics card touches the heatsink, and yeah, I really do not like that. So this is definitely the better solution. But on the other hand, if you go for this option and you have one of the PCI Express slots at the bottom and no X1 in this position, and you put in a graphics card here, you like cover this area of the motherboard, so it gets really difficult to plug in, for instance, this additional USB 3.0 header if you have a VGA down here. Since this is covered in the USB 3.1 cables or 3.0 cables, they're really, really sturdy. And yeah, so it's always kind of like a trade-off which they have to do. But yeah, definitely I do like the layout, and I think it's a good compromise. So yeah, I hope this was interesting for you guys and you enjoyed watching it. Thanks very much. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. Bye bye guys.